Greetings to everybody in the UK. We push for to be some of the top dogs in the games.
So I'm here with Adrian. He's a young gun in the lowrider scene.
You can turn anything into like a lowrider style.
So this is a lowrider bike that my dad and me built.
If you come across a collector who is willing to drop that much money, you are never getting your money back out of it. That I basically consider just to be a joke, something that I consider to be funny. If you wanted engraving, you wanted paint work, you're gonna be talking at least.
Welcome back to the channel, and just by chance we're here in Vegas for SEMA, but as an added bonus, it's the Lowrider Crazy Madness show. Just gonna fill the screens with sparkly, spangly, shiny bits for you to see. The cars are engraved, the cars are low, they're high, it's unreal. It's an amazing culture out here in America, and we absolutely love it. Great to see a few in the UK. Right now, enjoy the show.
My name's Danny Petrol. I'm out of Houston, Texas. Greetings to everybody in the UK. So out here at the Super Show for Lowrider Original out in Las Vegas. We brought 6 bikes. We're from Legion's Bike Club. We have a chapter in California and a chapter in Texas. We push for to be some of the top dogs in the game. So we got these bicycles that we do, and if I want to call it a bicycle, we can, but what it really is it's just a work of art that happens to have wheels on it. They are 100% functional, and they're just as detailed as we can make them and trying to be unlike any other ones that are out there. So WHATABURGER is really, really big in Texas, and I wanted to build something that just represented where I'm from. So I didn't want to just build a bicycle and cover it with shapes that were in the shape of Texas or Texas Stars or Longhorns or any of the sports teams. So I just had to pick something that was, what is something that every Texan can get behind? And I'm 265 pounds. I don't know what y'all call that in kilos because we don't use the metric system. I don't know what's wrong with us, but everybody in Texas can get behind this. So when I built this, it was just to represent kind of a tongue-in-cheek, kind of like a funny thing for us to do. So pretty much what you're looking at here is you're looking at a very, very expensive joke. And it was just supposed to be just funny that everybody could get behind and everybody would enjoy it. So, I mean, as far as it goes, I mean, it's very personal. Like this is mine, this is me. The mural that's on the seat pan is literally the WHATABURGER that's in front of my neighborhood that I've gone to since I was a kid. And then the little, the stickers on the pedals is exactly how I order my burger when I go there.
What are the values of the community?
The values, I mean, pretty much the easiest way I can describe it is that whatever we have, if lowrider is in your soul, you can make whatever you have into a lowrider. So whether it be cars, whether it be trucks, whether it be bicycles, I got buddies of mine who have lowrider furniture in their house, you know, that are upholstered the same way. It's the style, the classic nature of it that they take, and we can adapt it to almost anything that we have. So even if you go into my house, you'll see a lot of stuff like this inside my house. And it's just, it becomes a part of you, and it gets passed on and passed on and passed on. A lot of these older gentlemen, you'll see them that they've been in the scene for so many years, and then they have kids, and then their kids get into it. And then they keep the tradition going and they keep the family names going. My father has been out of my life since I was 2 months old. My mother is the one that got me involved into this. So it's funny because it's like she always pushed like me and my older brother to be creative with everything that we do. And so whenever I get stuck on a project and I can't figure it out, 9 times out of 10 I can go ask my mother and she'll give me an idea that I didn't even think of. So
where did the lowrider scene start?
That's a tricky question. I mean, I know that a lot of it, like the lore and the history is that, you know, it came from like towards like the West Coast and stuff, and it gradually moved across the United States. And then I know that it's in the UK, I know it's in Australia, I know it's in Japan, but they say that more or less that it was like a West Coast kind of thing. The only reason I wasn't there, I don't know. I mean, I'm 44 years old. I wasn't there for the birth of it, but I know that we go to the West Coast a lot. We go to California, we go to Las Vegas. We see how the culture is celebrated out there, and it's pretty much the same exact love that they have is the same love that we have. I mean, I know that originally, like whenever it started and stuff, a lot of people were gravitating towards like the big fender cars, what we call bombs, things that were 1953 and earlier, like American cars. That's kind of like where a lot of it like originated in. But then, like I was saying earlier, how things you can turn anything into like a lowrider style. So then graduated to the Impalas, the Rivieras, and the Lincolns and things like that. The real long, low like body lines, like the ones that just like everything where lines were horizontal. Anytime you have like vertical lines, it tricks the eye and it makes things look higher, you know. That's why, you know, I'm fat. So if I gotta wear vertical stripes, it makes me look thinner. It's the same thing on lowriders. You always want things horizontal, closer to the ground. So everything always points downwards. That's always been just kind of like to mimic the style. So even like newer cars that we have, when you have like the newer Cadillac Fleetwoods, like the newer Impalas that the people are still building, it's still like that classic look, just getting it as close as it can to the ground. No vertical lines, everything pointing downwards.
There's a lot of chrome, a lot of bright colors. Paintwork and engraving is huge.
Yes. Paintwork and engraving is very, very huge. But it has to be done tastefully. A lot of people, when they want to, they think that they need to build something that what we refer to as a points monster. And so they take every single piece of chrome that they have and they try to engrave the whole thing. You have to find the happy medium between the two of them. So like you can't have it overdone. You don't want it to be like gaudy, but it also has to be an expression of who you are. It becomes somewhat of like a handwriting. You can tell who built what by their style. So like it's the same thing with like a graffiti artist. You can tell a graffiti artist one from the other just from the style that they use. You can tell who built what car, what bicycle, what stroller, what pedal car by their handwriting. Like, so the more and more you get into it, you recognize those kind of things.
What for you when you're walking around really catches your eye? There's so much here. You think, wow.
That's a really good question. Just because paintwork is a whole lot of it. You'll see people that aren't scared to take two colors that you wouldn't think would match, and all of a sudden that they do. But then it becomes the same thing. It's artwork. It's like a painting. It's something that catches your eye. What I tell people all the time is like if you go into like a shoe store and you look at all the new like tennis shoes or in like the Nikes that are out, you can see color schemes that aren't really used anywhere else, and like that's like a really good place to get ideas. One of the reasons that I enjoy celebrating like the bicycle world is that you can take a car and you can paint it, you can do this and that and the other, but when you're standing back and you still look at the silhouette, you can still tell it's a car. With these, you're allowed to color outside of the lines. You're allowed to stretch things further than they're supposed to be, and the shapes are all unique. When we sit there and we try to figure out one of these, we might draw it by hand at first, sketch over, sketch over, sketch over, and sketch over until you get the actual shape that you enjoy. So something and something that hasn't been done before.
I want to get into the scene. How much am I spending? With engraving, with good paint, how much am I spending?
With good engraving and good paint, if you're looking for something to actually bring into a show, if you were looking for a car, if you wanted engraving, you wanted paint work, you're going to be talking at least $30,000 to $40,000 to start. It's not a cheap hobby. And pretty much you have to be able to have that money, because I mean, we're not making any money off of this, you know, like being out here, being at the show, even if there is like a prize, if there is like a cash prize at the end, it's nowhere near what it costs to do it. But then that will go and show you the love for the sport. You're not necessarily doing it to make a cash prize off of it. You're doing it just for the love and the recognition. And one day later on, when they write the history book, is your name gonna be in there? Like, that's what's important. So on a car, I could easily say, I've got a car that nobody's seen yet, and I don't feel it's worthy to be in this show, and I've got 40,000 tied up into it. And I don't think it's good enough to be here yet. So as far as bicycles are going, I fabricate, I design, all my labor is free. But you're looking at this bicycle right here, as far as cash goes, not including my labor, I mean, you're looking at $11,000 right here for something that I basically consider just to be a joke, something that I consider to be funny. When you're talking about like top like showcase winning cars, stuff that is going for the title, when you're talking first, second, third place, car of the year, things like that, etc., $250,000 easily. Unless you come across a collector who is willing to drop that much money, you are never getting your money back out of it.
That was amazing, really amazing. There's so much to see here, and for me, Americana, I love it. The 65 Riviera, for my 40th birthday, I had a blacked out one. My friend owns that mark, and here is She-Devil and Unreal. Wow. 65 Lowrider is the one. Dream car, probably I'll never own one, but here in that finish is amazing. All about the clamshells hiding the headlights. What car? So I'm here with Adrian. He's a young gun in the lowrider scene, and you have got some sick rides, man. Tell me about your sick bike and your sick bike.
So this is a lowrider bike that my dad and me built from the ground up. Custom frame, all custom parts with engraving. We just tried our best on it, man. And then right here we got our 59 Impala RC lowrider. We got it from Red Cat Racing, and we just like messing around with things.
This is so cool, amazing. Obviously, your parents, your family are part of the community. We love car culture around the world. This is on another level. Do you do these shows all over the US?
Yeah, these are all over the US. Like, most of the time, they're California, Los Angeles, popular places. But like out of the state, I don't really see a lot of them.
Amazing, no, we absolutely dig it, and this show is awesome. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this insight into lowrider culture. It truly is an amazing family, community, culture that has its own ecosystem. The cars are amazing, the people, the families, the groups. Adrian with his little remote control was amazing, and we will be back for more of this. Hopefully see some on the streets of LA. Take care, tune in next time.